Are your tomato plants growing tall but producing very few tomatoes? Do the leaves look weak, the stems seem thin, and the harvest never matches your expectations? Many gardeners assume the problem is the seed variety, the weather, or even bad luck. But in many cases, the real mistake happens long before the first flower appears. It starts with how the soil is prepared before planting. Today, I'm going to show you a simple planting method using two common kitchen leftovers that many people throw away every day: eggshells and coffee grounds. When used correctly, these materials can help create a healthier growing environment for tomato plants, supporting strong root development, sturdy stems, vigorous growth, and better fruit production throughout the season. The best part is that this method is inexpensive, easy to follow, and suitable for both garden beds and containers. But there is one important step that many gardeners skip, and that small mistake can greatly reduce the potential benefits of these natural materials. So make sure you stay until the end because I'll show you exactly how to prepare, apply, and maintain this simple system for healthier tomato plants. Let's get started. Before we plant anything, we need to prepare one of the most important ingredients in this method: eggshells. Most gardeners already know that eggshells contain calcium. Because of that, many people simply crush the shells with their hands and scatter them around their plants. While this isn't necessarily harmful, it often doesn't provide the results they expect. The reason is simple. Eggshells are made primarily of calcium carbonate. When they remain in large pieces, they break down very slowly in the soil. In some cases, large shell fragments can remain visible for many months or even longer. That means the calcium becomes available only gradually. To make eggshells more useful, we need to increase their surface area. Start by collecting 2 to 3 clean eggshells. Allow them to dry completely. Dry shells are easier to process and store. Once they are fully dry, place them into a blender, food processor, or coffee grinder. Now comes the step that many gardeners overlook. Instead of leaving the shells as coarse fragments, grind them into a very fine powder. The finer the powder, the greater the surface area exposed to moisture and soil microorganisms. This helps speed up the natural breakdown process and allows the minerals to become available more efficiently over time. When the powder is ready, set it aside. We will use it shortly to create a nutrient-rich foundation beneath the tomato plant. Now let's prepare the planting location. Whether you're planting in a raised bed, a traditional garden, or a large container, proper root space is extremely important. Choose a location that receives at least 6 to 8 hours of sunlight per day. Tomatoes thrive in full sun, and insufficient light often leads to weak growth and reduced fruit production. Next, dig a planting hole approximately 20 to 25 centimeters deep. If your tomato seedlings are tall and slightly leggy, you can make the hole a little deeper because tomatoes have the unique ability to develop roots along buried stems. As you dig, pay attention to the soil structure. The soil should be loose and crumbly rather than hard and compacted. Loose soil allows roots to spread more easily, improves water movement, and promotes better air circulation around the root zone. Healthy roots require both moisture and oxygen. When soil becomes overly compacted, roots struggle to expand, nutrient uptake becomes less efficient, and overall plant growth can slow significantly. Once the hole is prepared, we can create the nutrient layer that forms the foundation of this planting method. Take the finely ground eggshell powder and spread it evenly across the bottom of the planting hole. Next, add approximately 2 tablespoons of dry coffee grounds. Coffee grounds are often misunderstood in gardening. Some people think they act like a powerful instant fertilizer. In reality, their greatest value comes from the organic matter they contribute to the soil. As coffee grounds decompose, they help support beneficial microorganisms and can contribute to improved soil structure over time. They also contain small amounts of nutrients that become available gradually during decomposition. After adding the coffee grounds, lightly cover the layer with a small amount of soil. This creates a buffer zone between the roots and the amendments while still allowing the plant to benefit from them as they break down naturally. At this stage, lightly water the planting hole. This moisture helps activate microbial activity and begins the natural decomposition process. Now that the foundation is prepared, it's time to plant the tomato seedling. Carefully remove the tomato plant from its container. Try to avoid damaging the root ball. If the roots are circling tightly around the container shape, gently loosen them with your fingers. This encourages the roots to spread outward into the surrounding soil, rather than continuing to circle. Place the tomato plant in the center of the planting hole. Keep the plant upright and position it so the root ball sits comfortably within the hole. If you're planting a tall seedling, you can bury part of the stem because tomatoes can develop additional roots along buried sections. This extra root development often helps the plant become stronger and more stable. Slowly begin filling the hole with soil. As you add soil, gently press it into place with your hands. The goal is to remove large air pockets while still keeping the soil loose enough for healthy root growth. Avoid pressing too hard. Compacted soil restricts airflow and can make it more difficult for roots to establish themselves. Once the hole is completely filled, create a slight basin around the plant. This helps direct water toward the root zone during irrigation. Now give the newly planted tomato a thorough watering using clean water. At this stage, water is more important than additional nutrients. The plant's immediate priority is establishing itself in its new environment. Consistent moisture helps reduce transplant stress and encourages roots to begin exploring the surrounding soil. Over the next several days, monitor the plant carefully. Keep the soil evenly moist but not waterlogged. Most tomato transplants need about 5 to 7 days to begin settling into their new location. Once the plant has had time to establish its root system, we can introduce the next part of the process, a simple coffee ground solution. To prepare this solution, add 2 tablespoons of used or dry coffee grounds to 1 liter of warm water. Stir thoroughly. After mixing, allow the solution to sit for approximately 12 to 24 hours. During this period, water-soluble compounds from the coffee grounds gradually move into the liquid. After the soaking period is complete, strain the mixture. Remove all solid particles and keep only the liquid. The resulting solution can be applied around the root zone of the tomato plant. For young plants, it is a good idea to dilute the solution with an equal amount of clean water during the first application. This allows the plant to adjust gradually. Apply approximately 200 to 300 milliliters around the base of each plant. Avoid pouring directly against the stem. Instead, distribute the solution around the surrounding soil where the roots are actively growing. This encourages roots to spread outward in search of moisture and nutrients. Repeat this application approximately every 7 to 10 days. Consistency is more important than quantity. Overfeeding rarely produces better results and can sometimes create unnecessary stress. As the tomato plant grows, you'll begin to notice several encouraging changes. The stem becomes thicker and more capable of supporting future fruit loads. The leaves develop a richer green color. New growth emerges more vigorously. And perhaps most importantly, the root system continues expanding beneath the soil surface. Strong roots are the foundation of a productive tomato plant. Many gardeners focus exclusively on what they can see above ground. However, the invisible activity below the surface often determines the plant's long-term success. A healthy root system improves water uptake, nutrient absorption, stability, and resilience during periods of environmental stress. Now let's discuss another simple step that complements this method. Every second week, you can provide an eggshell-based supplement. To do this, place finely ground eggshell powder into a container of water and allow it to soak. While eggshells do not dissolve quickly, this practice can help distribute fine particles around the root zone when applied to the soil. Alternating between coffee ground applications and eggshell-based treatments creates a balanced maintenance routine using materials that many households already have available. For example, Week 1, apply the coffee ground solution. Week 2, apply the eggshell water mixture. Week 3, return to the coffee ground solution. Week 4, use the eggshell mixture again. This simple cycle is easy to maintain throughout much of the growing season. Of course, successful tomato growing involves more than just soil amendments. Plants also need adequate sunlight, proper watering, good airflow, and appropriate support structures. As your tomato plants grow taller, install stakes, cages, or trellises to keep the stems upright. Supporting the plant improves air circulation and reduces contact between leaves and the soil. Good airflow can help reduce disease pressure and encourages healthier overall growth. Regular pruning may also be beneficial depending on the tomato variety you are growing. Removing damaged leaves and excessive lower growth can help direct the plant's energy toward fruit production. As flowering begins, continue monitoring moisture levels carefully. Tomatoes prefer consistent watering. Allowing the soil to swing repeatedly between extremely dry and extremely wet conditions can contribute to problems such as fruit cracking and uneven development. Mulching around the base of the plant can help conserve moisture and reduce weed competition. Organic mulches such as straw, shredded leaves, or compost work particularly well. Over time, these materials also contribute organic matter to the soil. After several weeks, many gardeners begin noticing visible improvements. The plants appear stronger. The stems become more robust. Flower clusters become more abundant. And as pollination occurs, small green tomatoes begin forming throughout the plant. This is one of the most exciting stages of the growing season. Those tiny fruits gradually expand, gaining size and weight with each passing week. As they mature, their color begins changing from green to shades of orange, pink, and eventually rich red, depending on the variety. Seeing clusters of healthy tomatoes developing is a rewarding reminder that good preparation often leads to better results. The process started with a simple decision: creating a healthier environment for root development before planting. Rather than relying entirely on expensive products, you use common kitchen materials to improve the soil and support beneficial biological activity. That's one of the most satisfying aspects of home gardening. Small, thoughtful actions performed consistently often produce impressive results over time. So before you throw away your next eggshell or coffee grounds, consider putting them to work in your garden instead. With proper preparation, careful planting, consistent watering, and a little patience, you can give your tomato plants a stronger start and help create the conditions for a productive growing season. If you decide to try this method, I would love to hear about your experience. Share your results, observations, and tips in the comments below. Your feedback may help other gardeners learn what works best in different climates and growing conditions. Thank you for watching all the way to the end. I hope this guide helps you grow healthier tomato plants and enjoy a successful harvest this season. Good luck in your garden, and I'll see you in the next video.